This week on Game of Thrones.
What's up, guys? It's Mike and Andrew from the Earth's Mightiest Zeros back again for another review and breakdown of Game of Thrones. This week's episode is number 6 of season 6 and is entitled Blood of My Blood. Alright, so this week's episode starts off pretty much where we left off last episode, and that is with Meera and Bran.
Hold the door.
Yeah, after the heartbreaking death of everybody's favorite, Hodor, we catch back up with them, and they've pretty much escaped, it looks like. There's no White Walkers in sight.
Somehow, miraculously.
Meera basically is out of breath, so they have to stop. And Bran is like warging back and forth through time and is flashbacking through pretty much everything that we had seen him do with the Three-Eyed Raven up to this point. And then the White Walkers basically start to show up. Bran wakes up and is like, they've found us.
And she's like, no shit.
Yeah.
They found us last week, bro.
Yeah. And then some mysterious figure, basically, on a horse comes and just, like, fucks shit up.
It's Michonne.
Then they get on this mysterious figure's horse, and they get away from the White Walkers.
Then we catch up with Sam and Gilly. They are no longer sailing. They're in a carriage now, and they are on their way to Sam's house.
Riveting stuff.
Yeah, super exciting. Also, somehow her kid is 3 now. He's just, like, aging every episode.
And he's the most beautiful model baby I've
He's
ever seen in my
adorable.
life.
He should be in all of the Pampers commercials. Sam lets Gilly know that his dad is not a big fan of wildlings, and so she's going to pretend that she is not a wildling, and they are also going to pretend that her kid is his kid so that his parents will take it in and teach it to read.
So now we're back in King's Landing, and we're with Tommen, and he's meeting with the High Sparrow. And the High Sparrow lets him see Marjorie, and it sounds like she's kind of drinking the Kool-Aid. She sounds reformed. I'm not sure really if I believe her at this point, but that's what we see at this part. And basically what she says is that we all need to atone for all of the bad deeds that we've done.
Tommen's like, you're right, we should. That's how he talks,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And we finally get to see Hornhill, and it's kind of nice, I guess. We meet.
It looks like almost everywhere else in this show.
It's a lot of bricks, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't have like steel and glass and shit, so it's pretty limited. We meet Sam's mom and sister. They seem very nice, very pleasant. His sister's a little bit awkward, and Sam is obviously a mama's boy, I think, based on the conversations that we're having. Long story short, Gilly gets a makeover. She doesn't look quite so much like a sack of potatoes walking around anymore. And they go down to a lovely dinner in a very nice dining hall where everybody just really awkwardly eats and just makes a lot of very strange, like, eating noises for a weird extended period of time. Eventually, after calling Sam lazy, fat, stupid, effeminate, all the different things that his dad could say to offend him, he finds out that Gilly is actually a wildling, and he flips out. He basically says that Sam is no son of his, he's got to leave. Because he's such a nice guy, he'll let Gilly stay and work in the kitchen, and he'll raise the son, the bastard son, as his own. Oh, and by the way, there's a super fancy Valyrian steel sword hanging on the wall that Sam is never going to get. After that dinner, which, to be honest with you, went better than any dinner at my ex's house ever went, they go up, this is a fact, they go up to Gilly's room, and Sam's like, well, you'll be taken care of here, see you later, and he leaves. And then Gilly's kind of talking to her kid, and then Sam comes back, he's like, actually, fuck that, we belong together, we're all getting out of here. They go downstairs, he grabs that Valyrian steel sword off the wall, and Gilly's like, won't your father come after it? And he's like, I fucking double dare him to come after it.
So then we go back and check in with Arya, and she's watching the play again. This time we are seeing Joffrey get poisoned. And Arya is loving it. Loving seeing Joffrey get poisoned. She is laughing her ass off. Nobody else watching the play is laughing.
It's awkward.
It's really awkward. And she sees people kind of looking at her, and she's kind of like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't be laughing. As soon as Cersei starts mourning Joffrey's death in the play, Arya starts feeling a little sad because she realizes that she also has lost somebody, even though she's evil.
Also, Arya looks over the shoulder of the actress playing Cersei and sees the other actress from the play kind of standing there in the wings reciting the lines under her breath. So it looks like the typical case of understudy wants to take over the main role sort of thing.
So then Arya leaves and she goes backstage and she puts the poison into the drink that the actress always drinks from. And then I think she gets some cold feet because as she's walking away, the actress calls her out on being there. And she's like, how many times have you seen this play? And Arya's like, 3 times. So the actress asks her name, and she lies and says it's Mercy. And the actress again calls her out on her bullshit. And I think Arya kind of gets a little respect for her because of this and runs away. The actress is about to drink the poison, and Arya comes in out of nowhere and slaps it out of her hand, and then basically points at the actress that was like laying in the wings and is like, she's out to get you, watch out for her. Of course, the waif is there watching all of this go down, and it's not going to be good for Arya, I don't think.
Nope.
So Arya goes and finds Needle from where she hid it, I guess, like, what was that, like 3 seasons ago? That was really exciting. The waif goes and tells Draken, and Draken is like, kill her, but don't let her suffer.
So then we're back in King's Landing, and Marjorie is on the steps about to do her Walk of Atonement. And there's a bunch of people there waiting to watch it. Everybody's getting super rowdy about it. In an alley, maybe a couple yards away, we see Jaime and the Kingsguard start forming up, and they are ready to go in there and put it into that. Sparrow's giving his little speech. Jaime and the Kingsguard ride up. They do their little phalanx kind of thing, show off all their swords and shields and all that shit. And Jaime says, nobody's walking down the street today. This shit is not happening. The Sparrow goes, well, there doesn't have to be any violence because guess what? There's not going to be a Walk of Atonement today anyway. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like on both sides. The crowd, Jaime, everybody's like, I don't get it, right?
Yeah.
Marjorie seems pretty stoked on it,
yeah.
Right? And we find out that she doesn't have to do the walk because she is already atoned by giving up somebody else for their sins. Who walks out the door? Tommen. Yep. And he comes down, he makes a little speech. His speech is exactly word for word what the High Sparrow said to him like an episode or 2 ago. So we know that he's been brainwashed. We look down at Lady Tyrell and she's like, fuck, they beat us.
Yep.
And it does not look good. There's an alliance between the Crown and the Faith in King's Landing now. So basically everything's going to shit. Slightly thereafter, we see Tommen talking to Jaime, and he says, sorry, Uncle Jaime, but you don't get to be the commander of the Kingsguard anymore. And in fact, you don't even get to stay in King's Landing anymore. You got to go command our armies down in the Riverlands. And Jaime's like, I don't want to fucking do that at all. And Cersei's like, but you have to. And then they make out, and it's weird.
Banished again.
Banished again.
So next we see Walder Frey, and he's pissed at his sons for losing River Run, and basically is like, we need to take it back. Edmure Tully, who is Catelyn Stark's brother, shows up in the scene, and they say they're going to use him as a bargaining chip to get River Run back, and he's been held captive ever since the Red Wedding. This scene was pretty vague to us.
It was confusing.
We didn't really get this one too much, but yeah, if you guys know anything more about it, comment down below.
Back in the woods, the hooded figure who rescued Bran earlier is draining rabbit blood into a cup, which is a pretty normal activity for most of us.
Sure.
That's what we do after we record these reviews every Sunday. They asked the hooded figure where he came from, and he said that the three-eyed raven sent for him. Mira goes, but he's dead though. And he's like, he lives again. And then the camera goes to Bran, so what does that mean? It means it's Bran.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we already knew this.
We already knew, but now we know even more. Then they're like, dude, who are you? And he doesn't hesitate at all to show them who he is, which makes me wonder why he was wearing a fucking hood in the first place. Anyway, it's Uncle Benjen. He's back. And he was dead, right? We all remember when his horse came back without him, which is pretty much a sign for you're dead. He was, but the children of the forest brought him back with some dragon glass, and now he's here to fuck shit up.
And for those of you like me who totally forgot who this guy was, the last time we saw him was episode 3 of the entire show. So if you forgot him like me, don't feel bad.
It's been a hot minute.
So then we completely switch gears and we are with Daenerys, and she's leading the whole army of Dothraki, and they're talking about how many soldiers and boats and stuff it's going to take over Westeros.
1,000 boats.
Correct.
It's a fuck ton of boats, especially considering that all the boats in the harbor and marine were burned a little while ago.
So she sees kind of like a swirl of dust in front of them around a bend, and she basically is like, wait here. And so she goes off, and it's like a really awkward 10 seconds, and then we see a dragon. And the dragon is enormous now.
Real big.
Really, really big. And who is on it? Of course, it's Daenerys. And then she gives this huge Independence Day speech, and end episode.
Yeah, it really comes out of nowhere.
This episode was a little disjointed for me. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's some big things that happened, but it didn't really feel... I don't know, I was a little bored.
It was the B team.
Yeah.
Brought the B team out to play this week.
Yep.
And then they were like, oh, let's just throw a dragon on here because the rest of this episode cost no dollars.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, clearly we're building up to bigger things, and the last 2 episodes were so awesome. This wasn't a bad episode. It just was not fantastic.
It could be worse. It could have literally only focused on Sam and on the Iron Isles. So what did you think of this week's episode of Game of Thrones? Did you like it? Were you bored off your ass like we were? Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked this video, put a thumb up. If you didn't like it, put a thumb up your butt. Take a second to follow us on Instagram. We got a lot of cool coverage of FanimeCon going on right now. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Just generally say things to us and interact with us on the internets.
Go to our website, earthsmightyzeros.com, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next week.
Those are delicious strawberry.
No, it's a really good pickle.
Which is a pretty normal thing to do. Sada!